Hi, Biz Besties, and I'm extremely excited to welcome you to our final session of the International Women's Day interview series with women and their superpowers. And what a great person to end on. This is Tosca, and I think her superpower is happiness, because you don't see Tosca very much or at all in a place of judgment or sadness. She always has this beautiful welcoming smile on her face, whether it's a photo or a live or you meet her in person, or like we are doing in Zoom. So welcome, Tosca. Please introduce yourself to our viewers and a little bit about yourself and what your superpower is.
Oh, thank you, Nicole, and thank you for this beautiful opportunity to talk about superpowers, and especially for International Women's Day. What an honouring for women. So thank you. A little bit about myself. I guide women to reclaim their joyful sovereignty, their joy, their inner spark. Work with yoga, I do breath work, I do meditation, and a lot of those sacred devotional practices that really enhance, connect, reclaim, and ignite your own joyful passion. So that is what I support women to do. And it's an absolute privilege to be able to do that. So my superpower is joy. It is that happiness, that joy that we can really revel in and share. And that's what I love, is that it's contagious and that we can share it and that, and it's not just on a energetic level, on much of the physical level too. Like, we've got mirror neurons, we pick up on each other's emotions, so it just spreads the word of joy and happiness in the world.
So I think it's a very simple word, but like what we take our superpowers for granted as women, do you think that we often take joy for granted as well, and we forget that that simple practice can bring us so much happiness, and not only happiness but peace?
I agree. I totally agree with you. I think the term of joy is definitely a coined term that we use very sort of loosely around, find your joy, be joy. But it actually takes intention, and it actually takes a practice to come back to our state of joy. Like, I believe that joy, peace, expansion is our birthright. It is, we are born that way. And so many times in our busyness of the day, we get caught up in our head, our to-do list, all the things that we have to do or couldn't do or should do. And, the story goes on, that we forget to privilege our heart, and we forget to reconnect back into our joyful space. So yes, I agree with you. I think it's an easy word to use, but it's very much an intention to come back to that space of ours.
And I'm glad you brought up that word again, intention, because I think we don't set our intentions enough. Can you share a little bit more about how you go around setting your intentions? And I know that similar to Shanae, you work in the 3D and 5D world. And how does intentions work in an energetic field as well?
Yes, intentions and alignment is so, so important. And I think it's that place of truly honouring us beautiful women, to create that space for ourselves. So how do I do it? I set a time every day to put my devotions, put my alignment into place from the very beginning of the day. So I sit in heart congruence and I do gratitude practices first up, and just to be in that space expands our heart and joy. I do a lot of journaling, a lot of appreciation, and even in that, it rewires our brain to move out of the lack mentality into our total abundant and grateful mentality, and that brings joy. And I also use my breath. So when I get upset, I feel myself going up, connect and breathe, baby, breathe. And it grounds us back in.
So you mentioned heart congruence, which if ever the viewers have watched earlier, Shanae went through, and you're an intuitive guide, you're a trained and accredited intuitive guide as well with the Institute of Intuitive Intelligence, am I right?
That's correct, yes.
So with your skills and that you've trained in what you have and in intuition and all of that, and we've talked about intentions to set joy, but we have to have an intention not just to go out to get it, but I think we have to receive an intention to welcome it as well.
Yes, absolutely. To welcome and receive it into our lives. Yes, I agree with you, Nicole. To actually be open to receiving the blessings of joy. And then when we receive the blessings, we can give out those blessings as well. So it's very much give and receive. So we can share it. Definitely, yeah. And I believe we are all intuitive and we all have that capacity to be joyful, expansive, because that's our birthright. However, I think, as I said, we get busy in our head and busy in every day. In the 3D material world, we get very busy. But when we set our intentions and our practices, we lift our vibrations up. And when we lift our vibrations up, we actually are more open to intuition, our joy, what things actually bring this into our world more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it's with devotional practices, whether it's going outside and really noticing the beauty, whether it's connecting with beautiful, soulful friends that gives you joy. I think it's not just one thing. It can be so many things.
We set intentions, and we've had a lot of talk about we get up and do things. With your work and breath work, is there things that you can do to finish your day, to bring gratitude into your day, and habits that you can actually create to start your night off well, and to be grateful for the abundance and joy we've had during the day? And I guess if we're reflecting on the things that we're in fear about, because you believe that as well, that if it's not love, it's fear.
You got it.
Yeah. So the reflection, what reflection practices and gratitude practices can we bring in our day to reflect?
Yeah, I think, as mentioned before, the morning practices are awesome, but also before we go to sleep at night, our brains are at that lovely relaxed state where we can ooze into a beautiful, peaceful sleep, but we can connect with our day. And this is also a beautiful practice of closing down the day, closure with the day. And as we lie in bed, just to, look over your day and identify what has brought you happiness or joy or gratitude. And it might be, I saw that beautiful blue butterfly today. Thank you. I caught up with my best friend today. Thank you. That was so much joy. I went for a beautiful walk outside and I saw the sunshine. Thank you. And those types of practices really help to bring in more joy and more love.
And I think love and joy are synonymous, I think, because I don't think that we don't find comfort in either. We feel comfort in love and we feel comfort in joy. And as you said, being joyful is also that it brings in abundance. And when we say the word abundance, it can mean so much. What does abundance mean to you?
Yeah, good question. Abundance means like a sense of fullness and a sense of joy in my day. To be aware of where my energies are, abundant energy. So when I feel in alignment, when I have my awareness, when I'm not in alignment and I feel funky, I know to come back into my heart, come back into my space of gratitude, align, so awareness, align, and then appreciation. Those little practices really help to come back.
Okay. So what is it that you think that people, or you observe that people are missing about celebrating the joy in their life, or forgetting to actually not embrace the joy in their life?
I believe that when we spend a lot of time, well, not even a lot of time, just when we start to move out of the present moment of the now, and we go back into the past and we relive those stories of sadness or all the narratives of fear, or we project in the future and we feel very anxious about the future, we absolutely lose sense with the now and the moment of joy. So that's what I think. I think when we come back and we're present to ourselves and we can realign back, that's where we can come back into ourselves again. Yeah.
How much do you think fear in the explanation, and you can describe the difference between fear and love for you, how much does living in fear prevent us from receiving joy?
So much, especially when we talk about fear. We're not talking about fear of cane toads or fear of heights or fear of anything like that. We are talking about the sense of fear of when we are not aligned to our own life and our own divinity. So that whole spectrum is, and I think it is a practice, because we could slip out and then we slip back in again and they go, oh no, am I making that choice out of fear or love? Oh, I've got to come back to love. So yes, I think fear definitely has a big impact. I think when we step out of our alignment, that has a big impact on our joy and living in the moment. Absolutely.
So aligning yourself with the now and being in presence is really important. So how do you make sure that you're in the present moment?
Yes, I really check in with my thinking. I check in if I am ruminating and I am spending too much time, getting down in the details and asking why did this happen, or so and so, these types of situations, and I spend too much time there and I can feel it. It's like an energy zap. I start to feel tired, heavy, funky in the head, and I'm thinking, what am I doing? Come back, reground, realign, do some, get outside, do some yoga, do something to change the situation so that you can reclaim yourself again.
So what is it about, when I asked your superpower, you came up with a few different superpowers, and one of them is working with archetypes or goddesses.
Yes.
I'll get you to explain that to us. And you straight away said joy, and I really do think that, as I said in my introduction, when you look at Tosca, you actually do feel happy to be around you. So thank you for that. I guess it's a really easy subject that we think we can talk about, but many of us just aren't joyful. And as women, we're not joyful. We're judging. We're, as you said, busy in our mind. We're far off in the future, trying to race down what we have to do, try to meet our goals, because as empowered women, we want more, but we're also still trying to be everything to everybody.
So true.
How do we other than an alignment, and you're well aware of how to do it, but what are the triggers that women watching and going, okay, it's okay for you to be joyful and say all of this, but what are the triggers? What are things that they can start to do to go, oh, am I joyful in this moment? What can I do to make this more joyful?
Yeah. I really think that for us to be more joyful is to come back to that point of connecting with ourselves. So if we really have got a mind that really likes to think or overthink and analyze, to come back and put our hand on our heart and breathe in deliberately, breathe out, same way, but to also breathe in and say, I am here now. I am here now. I am joy. I am light. I am here now. And by saying that to ourselves, we come back in here, our hand touches it, and we start to be more present. Okay, I'm not thinking about tomorrow. I'm actually here. I'm in this room. I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing. You know what I mean? It anchors us back in the present moment.
Yeah, because I guess that we're so far in front and worrying about what's coming, we forget what's the now. You mentioned that you work with it's archetypes, not goddess.
Yes,
archetypes. How does that help your practice of joy?
it is unbelievable. The 13 sacred divine archetypes, they are divine. They are, as I said, 13 archetypes. And each morning I take the practice of journaling with them. So what is an archetype? An archetype is like a pattern, a universal pattern. Like these archetypes are from like Carl Jung, and they all have universal patterns. So, for example, the mother archetype. What does a mother archetype do? The nurturer, the caregiver, all of these things. But there's the ones I've been with, 13 of them. So we have...
This is the prostitute one? Am I right in thinking that?
That's one of the shadows. So there's the 13 sacred, and then we've got the glorious 4 shadows. And the 4 shadows are the prostitute, the saboteur, the child, and the victim. Yes, and we all have them. We all have them, and that's how fear can play out in our lives. Whether or not we become the victim, poor me, I have done this, I can never do this, or whether or not in business and life we sabotage ourselves, or we sell ourselves out, or we're the child and we give our power away. They're the 4 shadow ones. Yeah.
So I guess in simple terms, they're the cause, and would that be right? Like when you're looking at archetypes and shadow archetypes, they're the cause of what's going on, and the archetypes are like what if you can either stay in the shadow or you can look towards the archetypes. Is that align yourself with the archetypes? Am I getting it right?
You are, and all of them are like universal patterns, universal ways of behavior, thinking, being in the world. And the beautiful thing is that when we become aware of this, we can actually choose. We can go, oh, there I am, I'm being the victim again. Just listen to my head talk. What's going on here for me? And when we become aware, we can line back into our divine radiance, our joy.
So are they something, so when we're talking archetypes, are they something that you choose for yourself, or it's a practice that somebody else chooses for you, or is it both?
It can be both. So you can definitely tune in and do that yourself and find and see which archetype resonates with you. Do you know what I mean? Because they all have their own beautiful messages and they're all guiding. Do you know what I mean? Or you can have a person like an intuitive guide, choose one with you and talk about how it is your guide, your life guide, and how they support you in your life.
And this, as an intuitive guide, it's in the micro method that you talk about archetypes and shadow archetypes. That's how I've had sessions and understand them. So that's why I know about the prostitute, because she has come up for me in a past life experience. All right, the question is, so are they like an oracle card or a tarot card, or are they, are they like that? Because what's the difference?
Yes, there's a huge difference, Nicole. So as an intuitive guide, and especially with the archetypes, we don't do any predictive forecasting, any tarot card reading, because that is not what we're doing. With the archetypes, it's like, what is happening right now? Who is guiding you at the moment? Like, what is happening right now for you? So whether, as you said, the prostitute, or whether it's a victim, it's not about looking into the future or anything about a situation. It's about you or, the person you're reading for, finding out what really supports them, to empower them to make wonderful choices in their life and heal and grow. Yeah.
So the question I'd like to ask you is, what took you on your spiritual journey? As a woman, what was kind of the trigger for you to go, this is where I want to lead my path down?
Yes.
It could be many things, but it may not just be one thing. But if you could talk about
right, I think as a young person, was always fascinated with energy and life, and could see different things and felt different things. And then as my journey went on and supported my father through his dying processes, that really came to light. Like it just like, and from there with supports from some beautiful Buddhist teachers and then other teachers, it's just grown and manifested to now. Yeah.
So you've manifested a spirituality that isn't based on religion, or it is based on religion?
No, it's not based on religion. It's based on spirituality, and to meet the person where they are at this point in time. Yeah.
So what is it that so when you encompass all your superpowers, what do you do?
What do I do?
What do you do with I know that you work with children and women as well, and you know a rather large group of people. But with women, what is, when you put all your superpowers together, because we have more than one, and
Yes.
I've asked everybody to do something really hard and come up with one, and some people have found that really easy, and others have found that quite difficult because we do take for granted that superpower. But when you put all of yours together, what do you give to the people you work with?
Yes, I give them the fullness of what I can bring and be fully present to where they are at the moment. And the beautiful work that I bring is it's not prescriptive. So I don't go along with session 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's totally where they are at with whatever's meeting them in their life at the moment. It's like I am a spiritual companion along the journey, you know, that I can meet and support whatever's going, whether it's with their children, whether it's with their work, whether it's with, you know, if they've got mental health issues. It's being able to be with them and not to say, this is how I've done it. No, let's support you in finding what works for you. You know what I mean?
So it's basically empowering the person where they're at and letting them grow.
Absolutely.
Because I think most of us today, we've spoken about many things. You know, we've spoken about the divine feminine, down to domestic violence, to Shanae talking about heart congruence and what intuition is. Mary Lou talking about, you know, making children shine. There's been so much we've talked about, and I think it's all about helping women grow from where they are right now into what they want to be, and that's what empowering each other is. What does it look like to you to empower another woman?
Oh, it's pure joy. It is joy. That is what lights my world up. So to empower another woman along their journey it ignites the joy for me to know that another fellow woman, fellow sister that is along that journey is so powerful. To be of service, to be able to support that woman is powerful, because I know as a woman, especially in the family, we affect our children, we affect our partners, like we are a hub.
Yeah.
So if we can work with ourselves and create the world we want to live in, then all the others are going to have the flow-on effects from that. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
As women, we have many labels, and we've talked about all of this. But we have a responsibility to ourselves to take responsibility for who we are, to take responsibility for our self-care and our self-love. How do you help women to step into that self-responsibility?
Yeah. It is about acknowledging what they want with their life And as caregivers and as mothers, we tend to always give out. We have to also feed ourselves as well. So in order to do that, it's really understanding where they're at, whether taking responsibility of getting outside and noticing the beauty, doing 5 minutes of breath work, doing 5 minutes of forgiveness work, whatever it is, to actually start them taking on that responsibility and feeling it. Do you know what I mean? It's okay to talk it, but you've got to feel it through your body too.
What is one message that you want to leave with the viewers that are watching right now?
Joy is your birthright. Joy is your birthright. That fear is not your birthright. Suffering is not your birthright. We do not have to break down to break free. You know what I mean? We don't have that. Some of us do. Some of us have had, breakdowns and big traumas, but some people don't. And that's not part of the journey of finding your spirit, your joy, and your passion.
And our birthright to receive joy, is it also, should we consider that our birthright to give joy as well?
Absolutely. It goes around and it sends, and receiving and giving and sharing with the world, because I think as women, the more we are in community together, the more we can become, stronger together. And we all want to make, big, beautiful changes too for ourselves and humanity. So together we are stronger,
Thank you for that. Tosca, you've talked about many practices, and I do know that you're going to provide a link to some of the work that you do. And there's so much work that you do, from breath work to heart congruence to, there was another, what was it that you said at the start? Yes work?
I said, yes, the one that we haven't done, which I'll do for everybody, is the big yes meditation.
Okay. So if people want to follow you and want to see your work, how can they do that?
Yes, please come on over to Tosca Serenity. I have an assortment of different things on there, between breath, yoga, inspiration, laughter, all of those things there. And there's free meditations, and there's all different things there for people to access. Yes.
Beautiful. Do you have a website?
No, I don't have a website. I have a Facebook group, a page, and that's yes.
Well, in the description, as you will see, I will have added Tosca's page there. But Tosca, thank you so much for sharing your time with us, and thank you for helping me wrap up what has been an amazing experience for me to spend time with all of you amazing ladies. If anyone's got any questions, you'll pop in and answer them and continue the conversation with them in the comments. So please leave some comments there for Tosca. She would love to engage with you, and she would love to share the joy with you, as she does the rest of us quite often. So thank you for joining us. I will do a short wrap up after I finish the call with Tosca, and thank you for joining us on this International Women's Day in 2020.
Thank you.